Marnus, obviously, your first Test century. It's been something you've been working on for a while. Is there anything you did around mind frame in the, I guess, the time leading up towards getting to that mark and really, being able to turn a good start into a really big score?
Yeah, I actually was saying that just downstairs before. Played 2 one-day games leading up, and then the one-day game here, and I was the same thing. The field was out, and I was playing too high risk cricket with that field, and my coach actually said, Neil, said, mate, just hit the ball along on and get to the other end. And that's the sort of thing that I think sometimes when you're going really well, you almost try and play too many shots. And today, that's kind of what I was trying to do. I was just trying to make sure, you really wanted to bring it up because, you get a bit anxious in the 90s and you really want to bring it up with them. So, just to try and keep it simple. And that's really helped me over the last, just becoming a lot more process, ball by ball, not getting too far ahead.
Labuschagne, big congratulations, tremendous performance, what a great piece of batting. My question would be, what's the plans for tomorrow? What's your bowlings? Are they just trying to bowl at the Pakistan before the lunch, or what's magic gonna come tomorrow?
Sorry, mate?
What is the bowling plan for tomorrow, you reckon?
Probably bowl around top of off and see if we can get some nicks. I mean, yeah, like I said, the process here is quite simple. Just keep bashing the wicket. Looks like Nathan's getting some spin out there, especially to the lefty. We had that nick that just didn't carry. So there's great signs for us, and, there's a little bit of up and down. So hopefully we can get a few hitting the cracks and staying low.
Yeah, Marnus, congratulations, mate.
Thank you.
Great century. There's a lot of talk about Naseem Shah being a very quick bowler, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on what it's like to face him out there.
Yeah, he looks like a high-quality bowler. I don't think he bowled too much today. I think he only bowled 5 overs, was it? Yeah, not too much. But yesterday, yeah, he's definitely quite zippy. Obviously I came in a lot, probably 60, 70, 60 overs into the game. So, obviously there's a bit of fatigue there. But, yeah, he looks like a very good bowler. Beautiful action. I think we were saying that the whole time. Really nice rhythmic action and presents a really nice seam. So, yeah, he was very good.
Marnus, we heard you change your stance somewhat in England to adjust to the conditions, and obviously that paid off really well. Have you had to readjust again back here, or have you just gone along with what you were doing before?
No, I'm always sort of tinkering with stuff. If it's, not getting too low, making sure. But, yeah, the fundamental stuff that I changed over in England has definitely changed my game, really. Just making sure, my bat path's very good, and that's really helped me pretty much since I started playing at Glamorgan, through that and then through the Ashes and then now. So, I'm always tinkering with stuff, adjusting my game. But, yeah, the big changes I made in England to face nip and swing bowling definitely helped.
Marnus, what's it like to score a Test century?
Geez, I was coming to the ground today. You don't try and let your mind drift and you try and stay quiet in the moment. But, you can't help but think, imagine if you get your first Test century, home ground. So it was amazing, leading up to when I got it. I was sort of thinking, just stay patient. Like, they're going to come, then you can get your shot. And I said, look, if it's up here and it's full, I'm gonna have a crack here. Just throw the bat. And I was real greedy. I tried to go too square, and I was lucky enough I got a sort of thick edge through the gully region. And then it was just the looking back and seeing it just trickle on the ground. You're like, oh, thank you. And then obviously just you always think as a kid, how are you going to celebrate 100? And that was nothing like I thought. My emotion took over, and it was very exciting, and a dream come true.
Marnus, the Steve Smith leave's got a bit of attention. I think you were saying on radio down there, were you, that Johnny Bairstow was giving it to you in England about it? Can you just talk about that?
Look, I'm quite a visual learner, so I don't know, subconsciously maybe I have been doing that for a long time before I played, but I mean the boys will say otherwise. But yeah, it's just, look, what better person to copy than the guy that averages 64? Like I said, by no means consciously trying to copy what he does, but there's definitely a lot of stuff that I've learned from him and the way he plays that I've definitely taken on board in my own game.
Why is it so hard to score runs here in the Sheffield Shield? I think 1 century last summer. No one's, hardly anyone's got a run this summer. You and Davey and Joe got a couple.
Yeah, look, the wickets are definitely a bit softer, maybe slightly greener. I don't know. I mean, traditionally, it's not as fast day one. So day one is quite a slow day. And it's tough to score. So by day two, and especially the first 2 games, it was quite overcast. So the wicket didn't harden up, which meant the runs, you couldn't score freely like on this wicket. At least there was nice pace even on day one when we were bowling. There was nice pace in the wicket. We played games out here where, day one it's quite tennis bally, so you can't drive. Every time you try and drive, it's just you see the head whip back and it's just neck caught slip. So it's a lot more patient game here in Shield cricket. You have to wait, and then day 2 and 3 it does quicken up, but you need the sun, and obviously early in the season, a bit overcast, so it was fairly low scoring. The last game here was better. It was quite a flat wicket and a bit of pace, and I think we got like 400 or something in the second innings. So,
Marnus, in a general sense, how pleasing was it to see the whole or most of your top 5 score runs? Because in the past, people have said, well, if Steve doesn't score runs, maybe Australia don't. But today, he didn't score runs and everyone else did. Yeah,
like I said, it's important for us to turn up every day. And, like Steve is an amazing player. But like I said, there's some amazing players in that lineup. The way Wadey came out and played, and the way Davey and Joe played that day one. I mean, like that is, you can't ask for a better start from your openers, and they really took the sting out of that attack and allowed that guys batting at 4, 5 and 6 to capitalise on the the hard work they did.
Marnus, you're like Steve Smith, you like to spend a lot of time in the nets, like batting. So with him, he says that, his own quirk, that he forgets how he holds the bat and he's trying to get that going. So you said, you tinker with a lot of things. Like, what are you looking to achieve in every net session, considering you spend so much time in there?
Look, the stuff that I try and do in a net session, that that there's some fundamental things that I try and do, make sure that my bat's coming through nicely, I'm not moving too much, and then there's times where I'm really I try to work on hitting against the spin or with the spin or whatever. So there's sort of different times, but it's a feel thing for me. It's that comfort. It's not like you have to hit a certain amount, or it's just like, if you feel like you're batting well. It's different between like a preparation net session, like, the day before a game or this morning, than like a training session where you might work on a few more things. But like I said, the key is to make sure you keep that process going that you want out in the middle.
Marnus, I don't know whether you think about it at all, but your relationship with the Gab is pretty peculiar, looking back at everything that's happened here in the test matches, like whether you've been working on the sidelines or catching as a sub, 80-odd. Does that cross your mind, like when you turn up to the ground to play? And I'm just wondering what might happen next time you play a test at the Gabba.
Look, I think my career so far has been a bit peculiar, to be honest. I took a catch, a wicket, and a run out before I got a run. There was a time there in Dubai where I didn't think I was going to make a test run. So, I think pretty much the way it's all happened is quite peculiar. Concussion sub, come in, took a catch as a 12th man. But, the strange things just keep on piling up on each other. But like I said, I love playing here. You know, it is quite an intricate wicket. You know, something that if you're not used to playing here, it can be a little bit difficult. So, you know, for me to be able to go out and do that today was it was really great.
When you got that catch, I remember there was a video that went viral of you practicing that in the kitchen or whatever. Did you honestly think that you were going to be achieving these sort of things at that time?
I always had an aspiration. I always wanted to play for Australia, and I believed I was going to play for Australia. But like I said, you know, the way it's all unfolded is definitely not the way I pictured it in my mind. But, you know, the ups and downs, I think that's the greatest part about it is, you know, your game. You always think this is the way I want to do it. You know, as a kid, you always like, I want to debut for Australia at 19, 20, you know. But, you know, that's not how the process is so much longer than that. You need to learn your game. And, you know, there's people that learn the game a lot earlier. But for me, you know, it's been a real learning. And probably in these last 2 years, I've learned a lot more of the game. I've obviously played a lot more cricket, you know, with my stint at Glamorgan and obviously the tour, a couple of Australia A tours before that. So it's been, you know, really busy. But I think that's the only way you really learn, you know, about the game is by playing it and learning in the game.
Marnus, you have made a quantum leap in your batting performance really since the start of that Glamorgan stint. And how much of that do you think was to do with getting, I guess, the early injection in a couple of Australia test tours, getting a feel for test cricket and then going away and, I guess, problem solving to that level rather than the one you'd been at before? Yeah,
I think the change of my environment was great. Just going there, you know, people looking at you with fresh eyes and you know, seeing different things and having different views on the game. I really love that change to when I went to Glamorgan. And yeah, absolutely. My first few test matches that I played, Sri Lanka and in Pakistan, was learning. You know, I learned what I could and can't do in those conditions in the subcontinent, and yeah, from there it was just about continuing to make sure I'm learning the game. And you know, I've tried to make sure that out of every innings, you know, you're learning, you're making sure that you're not making the same mistakes, and you know, you're trying to move forward with your game and pick up. You know, so you're not sort of, you know, making the same mistake over and over.
G'day, Marnus. Before the Ashes this year, you spoke eloquently about your faith. Just thinking about like last night when you were going to bed beyond 50 and waking your way to 100, to what extent does that help you, I guess, calm yourself before a huge day in your life, having that strong-held faith?
My faith has been a massive part of my life. Look, last night I was laying in bed and I wasn't trying to think about it too much, to be honest. I was just trying to, you know, clear my mind. Woke up sort of around 3 o'clock, I reckon, and I just couldn't stop thinking about cricket. So that didn't help. And then I think I was looking at my phone a bit and scrolled, which is never a good thing because, you know, people are messaging you in England going, you know, so that didn't help. But I got back to sleep and then this morning sort of woke up and it was, like I said, it's hard to explain because you don't, like you said, you think about it, but you don't think about it. You know, you're like, I want to get 100, but no, focus here. You know, it's like that catch-22. But there was definitely times out there I was like, geez, just let me get there. You know, I was just like, just don't do anything silly. Just hit it to long on, run. Hit it to long on, and then I try to go over cover or lap sweep or do something. So that's definitely an area I need to improve in and make sure that I'm, you know, making sure that, you know, taking the easy runs that's on offer.